Think of Asian food, they may think about sushi or Chinese takeout. Those are some popular options that may come to mind, but one chef in Lakewood is determined to showcase the incredible variety of Asian flavors, dishes, and cuisines, starting with his own. In my latest Taste of Home story, and in honor of AAPI Month, I'm thrilled to introduce you to Daniel Ong of Dang Good Foods in Lakewood and his unique way of honoring the flavors of Singapore.
Tissue?
This man just offered me a tissue box. He doesn't think I can handle the heat. We'll see. We'll see.
If you're heading to Dang Good Foods in Lakewood, you better be ready for something spicy.
Makes your nose prick a little bit.
Yeah.
Something savory.
It's my secret ingredient. It's a umami adder.
And maybe a little something.
So sweet.
It's a whole melting pot. Or rather, wok of flavors, only fitting for the Singaporean cuisine it's inspired by.
Our tagline, it's a taste of Singapore and more. So I try to create dishes that mimic food that you can find in Singapore's eatery scene.
Daniel Ong was born and bred on the island nation in Southeast Asia, a place he describes as a mix of backgrounds and ethnicities, like his own family's Chinese roots.
You have Chinatown in Singapore, Little India, and there's a Malay village in Singapore too, just specific areas. But we all live and play and work together. So it's a very vibrant city.
The food in Singapore pulling from those cultures to create its own unique style.
There's dishes that have amalgamated together to create this Singapore dish.
Some signatures of Singapore's cuisine: coconut milk, pandan leaves, and candle nuts, which Ong remembers his grandma would add to curries.
Eating is Singapore's favorite pastime.
But it became hard to keep up that pastime once he moved to Arkansas for college, where he couldn't find the flavors of home.
So I had to start recreating those dishes that I enjoy for myself, by calling my grandma, my stepmom, my mom, and say, hey, how do you do this?
Eventually, he and his wife landed in Northeast Ohio, where they bought a food truck in 2019 before moving into a storefront in Lakewood.
To taste something that actually originates and has still its basis in Singapore cuisine was what I wanted to do. These two things, garlic and shallots, are the basis of almost every dish that we serve here.
Sizzling away, Ong whips up fried rice with eggs, char siu pork, and veggies.
This is yu choy. It's a very common vegetable in Singapore.
Plus soy sauce, sesame oil, and scallions. Or how about braised pork belly buns?
That recipe is my grandma's recipe, so for this too, she's passed many years ago, so I want to keep that as part of my, my wheelhouse for that.
Here, diners can find distinctly Singaporean noodles like char bee hoon, plus curries from India and spam musubi from Hawaii. And to round out the meal,
Sago Gula Melaka.
A dessert with tapioca, longan fruit, and coconut palm sugar syrup, making it hard for me to choose.
I need to stop eating this so that I save room to eat all the other things on the table, but I don't want to stop eating this.
All of it pulling from the myriad of cultures and cuisines that make Singapore so unique, and celebrating the diversity of Asian flavors.
Most people when they think of Asian food, they think, oh, sushi, Chinese takeout. Most North Americans do. But there's so many varieties.
Living up to its name, a dang good meal awaits at Dang Good Foods.
Well, you can probably tell that Ong's menu is very diverse, from curries to noodles to rice dishes and buns. The dishes really celebrate Southeast Asian culture and cuisine. And for the record, you probably saw it earlier in the story, he handed me a tissue box in case I couldn't handle the heat. I did not need the tissues, ladies.
Yes, I'm glad you cleared that up.
I can take the spice.
Included, I might need the tissue. I definitely need the tissue.
He had this awesome, really spicy, homemade kind of chili pepper sauce you could put on everything. It's tasty, but it's hot. So if you go, you just watch out with how much you put on there.
Listen, Peyton, you already know what I'm about to say.
I think Brianna's gonna go. If it's not today, it's sometime this week. So we know how we love food here at 3 News as a whole, let alone Sunday morning when our stomachs are growling when we do these stories. Isabel packs those stories full of flavor all the time.
All the flavor. and all the culture as well. I mean, what a huge blessing to be, here sharing your culture with all your friends and family members here in Northeast Ohio. You just get a taste. You don't need to pay thousands of dollars to go, on a plane. You can taste it right here in Northeast Ohio.
Right. We're so lucky to have the diversity of cultures here. And of course, I thought this one was fitting for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. As you ladies know, I'm a member of that community. I'm Filipino. So always a really fun opportunity for me to discover some of these new Asian cuisines that perhaps, like you said, aren't quite as popular as some of the really well-known ones, like sushi, for example, which is fabulous and we love. But, try Singaporean maybe next time and see what happens.
I don't think it's something I've tried before, but it's definitely added to the list.
There you go.
I know a lot.